Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Thursday, the 20th of November. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought we'd talk about how a lot of times we overcomplicate things and make it worse than what it really should be, and ways to combat that. So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is a weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Thursday, November 20th of 2025. So what am I talking about when I say we have a tendency to overcomplicate things? It's no different than, because it's relatable to us, since we're problem solvers, fixers, is that you go around and around and around because you get too close on a project. Let's say that you can't get a snowblower to start. So you do all the checks, and for some reason you just can't get it to fire up. If you allow yourself a chance to step back and take a look at it, that aha moment will probably come, because sometimes you get too close to things. And when you get too close to things, you tend to overthink and overcomplicate things. When in fact, the four rules apply. Do you have compression? Do you have fire? Do you have fuel? And do you have air? If you get the four, should be present, it should run, right? But if you allow yourself that chance to step back and think about, what am I really looking at? Because now I'm getting really frustrated that I can't get this friggin' thing to run. And what it ends up being is, inside the spark plug boot, where it clips onto the spark plug, is loose, and it's not getting contact all the time. So you're chasing your tail. All right. That's what I mean by overcomplicating things. You just need to. Everything is not going to be perfect all the time, I guess, is the best way to do it. And that goes in the shop too. The worst thing you can become is the U.S. government. And that's Congress and Senate, because they keep enacting more rules. That means more discussion. It means more of doing nothing and getting paid for it, right? We can't afford that in our business. We have to think on our feet, stay light, and get the job done. And in a fair amount of time. Customers waiting for their machines, it also goes for process in the shop, and that is, develop a simple process of how things come in, and that is how you intake a machine. What do you write down on the sheet? Making a simplified sheet so that it has everything that you need to ask for, like a name, phone number, address, especially if you're doing pickup and drop-offs. What's the chief reason that it's there? Why is it there? We did that simply yesterday morning, where the guy showed up and he had a Farmall Cub, and he said he's been tinkering with it for a while and he can't get it to run. And somebody had converted it over to 12 volt and went with not with the points and condenser, but went with the electronic ignition. And we've known them to fail a lot. Okay? So one thing that I have changed is how I do things. I used to brainstorm with customers trying to figure out their problem, and then they would go home and fix it. And Claude and I were talking, we're a repair shop. We need to have pieces of equipment coming in and going out to make a living. If we're giving out trade secrets of how to do things that we've learned along the way, are we really helping ourselves? And are we really helping our customers? I guess what I'm trying to say is, you can end up with no business if you continue to tell your customers how to do their own work. They came to you because they don't know how. And so just changing a simple process from Instead of giving out, oh, let's do this, do this, do this, now the comeback is we can get it picked up and brought back this week and probably have it running by Wednesday of next week. I'm not going to tell you how to fix it. I'm not going to tell you what I think is wrong with it. I'm just going to tell you that we can pick it up. Or if you want to drop it off, if it's more convenient, and we'll go from there. Just by doing that has increased the workload in the shop, which is what we need, right? We need to have stuff continually coming in and out and doing a really good job on it to make money for the shop, for Claude, for myself, and that's just the way things are supposed to work. But if you overcomplicate it, getting back to the form, I developed a form and I can post it. I'll just take Northern New York parts off the top. Just a simple form that has the name, phone number, address, and then below it says chief reasons for being there, and we handwrite everything. So you handwrite that out, and that sheet stays with the machine. We don't have any barcode systems where we barcode a customer's machine because if I've got a new zero turn, I don't want somebody else's sticker on it. Just because they did a service on it doesn't mean they own it. And advertising it might cost, right? So we don't use stickers and barcodes and all that stuff. We have a manual system. And that is on the left-hand side of that sheet, it has the part number, price, quantity. And then when Claude gives me that sheet when he's done, then I take it over and do an invoice for the customer based on what I see on that sheet. And that is about as uncomplicated as you can get. You're not overthinking things. You don't need a life history of that machine. All you need is what is the chief problem. Now, one thing that we always do tell our customer is if we find something that's in deeper than what we think, you will get a call. And that's always appreciative by our customers. Again, that's undercomplicating things. If you run into an issue and you call the customer and the customer says, go ahead, then you're not concerned about the customer being upset with you, are you? Because of the cost of what it is to do that. So you've uncomplicated that process too, because now the customer has made the decision for you of what they want to do. And what I tend to do is when I'm talking to a customer, we've talked about this many times before, I always put them at ease by saying that I will treat your machine like if it was my own. And I won't put a dime more into it than I would my own. And if we do run into problems, you're the first person I'm going to get a call from. And not only am I going to tell you what's wrong, I'm going to already have a few answers or choices for you to make on what I think is the best all-around choice. Do they always pick the one I think is the right choice? No. But it's the right choice for them, if that makes any sense. The worst thing you can do is overcomplicate your life, because what ends up happening is you get stressed, fatigued, tired out, grumpy, and all of the above, right? And I know that, I'm not a Bible preaching person, but there's certain things that are outside your control. There are a lot of things outside my control, and that is other people, customers, and the way the world swings every day. Not my problem. If there's something I can do about it, that's one thing. But if there's not, why overcomplicate my life by worrying about it? I give it up to God. I mean, look, some things just weren't meant for you to carry. And I know a lot of us, the tendency is to throw it onto our shoulders and try to carry it. And it just wears the bejesus out of us. You feel like the end of the world. And every day it gets worse because you're not doing the reset in the morning that says, Today is a new day. Yesterday sucked, and that's where it's going to stay. Today, we're going to have choices and how to make things less simplified, or more simplified is the right word. In the comments, what are some of the things that you do that you overcomplicate things? I mean, I tried to get it right down into language that a lot of you guys will understand, of having a spark plug boot not tight on the spark plug itself and not getting good contact. You can change the tail for quite a while. Because if you put a spark tester in there and throwing good spark, you're just like, well, that's not the problem because I got good fire. But if you didn't take a step back and just sit there and think about it, good chances are you still be working on it. And then finally come up, like I've seen Claude before say, it just isn't worth our time. And then take it out in my bay, and within 10 minutes have it figured out and running, and then he comes down and says, what the hell did you do to it? I am not a Class A, B, or C mechanic. I am a Class D. And that means I know just enough to get myself into trouble. But with the knowledge that I do possess, I am a problem solver. And I can sit back and think about what and why is something doing the way it's doing. So I run it through my pea brain of what the possibilities are, and then I start checking the stupid stuff. Because I'm not an overcomplicated person. You see what you get, Sucks to be you. But I'm not. I mean, I used to be very complicated. Nobody knew what I was thinking. And I was dangerous. But now it's out there. Everybody knows exactly what I'm thinking because I don't have the ability to kind of shut this down. And I just blurt things out. And a lot of times I interrupt conversations because I know if I don't blurt it out, 2 seconds later it'll have already gone through my brain and I won't remember what it was that I wanted to bring up. You ever do that? Welcome to the crowd. I think that happens with old age too, but I'm blaming it all on my surgery. But just think of things even in your personal life, of where things have become overcomplicated. It's like your better half. There's a reason why you got married to your better half. And over time, it's become really complex. And you're trying to figure it out. When the reality is, if you just think back to what attracted you to her in the first place. Maybe she was a hot toddy. Maybe she had a great disposition. A loving manner. Each to their own. There's going to be that reason why you were attracted to her. And to make things simple and less complicated is to sit down with her and say, what was it about me that made you want to be with me? Because here are the reasons I wanted to be with you. That gap will close fast. I guarantee you. If the two of you are able to sit down and think back to what the two of you saw in each other. And you've both grown together, but over time you've also grown apart because you're so worried in running the shop. She's trying to run the household and maybe she has a job too. And everything has become chaotic. But if you can sit down, the two of you, and talk to each other on the most basic level of why I love you. Get rid of all the crap. Get rid of all the noise. Get rid of all the complexity. Just simply, what was it that, maybe she's going to say it's your money. Because it sure in hell wasn't your looks, because you're uglier than a duck. Be careful because you never know what you might get out of this. But either way, you're going to be closer. Maybe you don't want that. Let's rephrase that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, the same thing as why did you have kids? Why did you buy the house? Why did you change jobs? And why are you doing what you do at the shop? She needs to know your passion. You need to know her passion. And you can't do that if you make it too complicated. Relationships weren't meant to be complicated. They weren't. If you can take and get all the noise out, it comes down to just the two of you. And what was it that sparked? And what is it that continues to keep you together? Most couples that I see that are having problems, it's not that they don't love each other. It's that they have a communication problem. That they may be both trying to communicate, but it's like one talking French and the other one talking Greek. Neither one of them understands what the other's saying because we're speaking a different language. But if we could settle on English as the language and both speak English, the problems would be solved in a heartbeat. What things have you run into in the shop that you just went around and around and around on and it ended up being a simple fix? I know that I've taken projects that should have been simple fixes and made them too complicated and spent hours chasing my tail on things. Claude has done the same thing. So I know that with two of us doing that, it's got to be something that happens to other people as well. The difference is if you're a problem solver and you take it and look at it, break it down to its smallest form, get rid of the complexity, just go at it with the basic information that how that engine needs to run, what needs to happen for it to run, and then just simply do your little checklist. And in the end, might be that spark plug boot. So on that note, you guys enjoy your Thursday. Like I say in the comments, what do you think about how we overcomplicate things? Whether it's in the shop, in our home life, or both, or all of the above. I know for me, the less complicated my life is, the better I am. Because if it gets too complicated, then I'm stressing all the time. And it's not good to be stressed because what happens? You start showing anger and tiredness and all the negative things that come with it, right? You guys enjoy your Thursday.